What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hard Park 703 channel. So it is bright and early. It's a Friday morning again. We are heading to the shop because we are going to change out the stance a little bit. So we lowered the vehicle and it's looking pretty good, but the tires are just a smidgen too far in for me, for my taste, you would say. And so I want to space those out, and well, keyword space, so I'm using spacers. So right now, currently, I've got 20mm spacers on the vehicle, along with the factory wheels, and so it's giving it that almost flush look. However, I want just a slightly smidgen more aggressive fitment, and so for that matter, I ended up ordering 25mm spacers. So it's a 5mm difference, but I think it's going to make all the difference. It'll give it a much more flush, meaty, beefier look, right? So now it'll be a real nice, like in my opinion, like meaty, flush type of stance. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to compare both spacers just so you can see the difference that 5mm makes, right? And then we're going to get them installed. It shouldn't take too long or anything, so I'll pick it up as soon as I get to the shop. Let's check out what the fitment difference is going to relatively look like. So let me show you right now how it sits, and then hopefully how it will sit as soon as we're done. All right, so as you can see, I mean, it's almost flush, but the top of the fender comes out much more over the tire than I would like normally, right? Like all my other vehicles, right? Like the Mercedes has some pretty aggressive stance, and then the C7 obviously has some very aggressive stance. And so I'm just used to just a smidgen of almost like tire poke, you would say. So I just want it absolutely flush with the fender, or just a smidgen of tire poke. And obviously, it comes down to the tire wall as well, right? If you've got a very squared away tire wall, it doesn't look as good as when you have a more curved, rounded tire wall, because then that way it blends in more when you're poking. So like if you're poking, it's better to have like a rounded tire wall, so then that way it blends into the body more. You don't want to be poking with like a very squared away tire too much, because then all of a sudden it gives you that kind of like quote unquote Mexi poke, right? So since these are very squared away tires, I got to be very careful with how much I want to poke, right? So right now, these are 20mm spacers on here, right? And so this is the front right there, right? So you can see, you can push that out slightly. And so these are the 20mm spacers. We're going to use 25mm spacers, so a 5mm difference. So that should be pretty flush on the front. Now in the rear is also slightly in, but it does make it seem like the rear fitment is just a little bit further out than the front per se, from certain angles. Right now I'm looking at it from this angle, and I'm like kind of just taking back exactly what I'm saying right now, but from the rear it looks more aggressive than from that angle right now. So from the rear it looks like the tire's already right there with the fender, right? And so that's where I'm saying, like, you want to be more careful, because you don't want to go too far out, because then, like I said, you're going to kind of get that Mexi poke type look, especially since it's a more squared away tire, much flatter, straight up and down tire wall, right? And so I still think though we can get away with it, because when you look at it from here, the fender comes out more than the top of the tire. And like I said, I want the same setup in the rear as the front, right? It's 25mm spacers all around on each corner. So it's going to be an aggressive fitment for sure, but I think it's going to be great. I still think it's going to come out looking great. So I'm not worried about like screwing up the look of the vehicle. I think it's actually going to aid in the aggressiveness of the vehicle. So yeah, that's where we're at. So let's get to it. All right, so was just taking pictures of all four corners, just so then that way we can have a before and after when I upload the post on Instagram. So then that way we can just, you know, put one picture back to back with it, right? So this will be like the before picture, and then we'll obviously take it from the exact same angle, and then we'll see how much it pushed it out. So now I'm on the passenger side, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, I figured I'd show all 4 corners. So yeah, so there you go. Obviously, just like the driver's side. And now let's go to the rear, right? So the rear, you can see it's slightly in. Coming around. See, so just slightly in. It's just gonna get pushed out just a smidgen. So basically the rear, I assume right now, just from eyeballing it, the rear is probably gonna look slightly more aggressive than the front, but I think it still should be a very nice symmetrical aggressive look on all 4 corners, meaning the rear and the front should be basically matching in the level of quote unquote like aggressiveness when we're talking about stance, basically. So all right, so yeah, there you go, right? So now that the sunlight is blocked by the clouds, there's not too much reflection, so you can see pretty well the front and the rear from this angle, right? So you can see that. Yep. And then let's just go around one last time because there's no more sun on this side. So coming around. Nice. All right. And then one last look from the front. All right. That, and then come around to the other side. Like that. Oh yeah, about to get to work. All right, so we got the 20 millimeter spacers off already. So let's do a comparison between a 20 millimeter and a 25 millimeter. So then that way you guys can see the size difference between both. All right, let me just put them down for a second right here. All right, so here is one. This is the 25, and then the one right here that's dirty is the 20. So that's you can see. I mean, there's a clear difference right there. So I mean, 5 millimeters in my head did not look like that big of a difference, but this does look like a pretty big difference right here. I mean, this is definitely the 25 millimeters is 1 inch in width, and then this one's probably like 0.75, but it looks like a lot more than just a 5 millimeter difference. So here, let me actually, you know what? I think it'll be easier if I just kind of put one on the ground next to the other one, so then that way we can see a clear height difference. All right, here we go. Let's put, so that's the 20 millimeter. This is the 25 millimeter right there. And so now, yeah, that is, yeah, there's a clear difference right there. All right, so Brian just gave me the good news that I am short 2 lug nuts. So we're just gonna have to reuse 2 old lug nuts, but I'll just contact Wildhammer and then that way let them know. You know, it's not that big of a deal, but just give them a heads up. But yeah, so look, so this is the size difference. So yeah, that is 5 millimeters. I guess in my hand when I was holding them together, it definitely looked a heck of a lot bigger. But yep, so there you go. So 20 millimeters right there. And then that is the 25 millimeter. So good idea. All right, so they are on. And yep, so here's 2 of the old ones, but yep, looking pretty snazzy. Right. Well, it's all done. So this is probably the shortest appointment I've ever had with Brian and everyone at the shop. All right, check this out. I can already tell that it looks so much beefier right now. That front tire looks totally different right now. It looks so good. Oh man, check this out. All right, so this is with the spacers on now. So 25 millimeter spacers as opposed to the 20 millimeters. Look at that. It is perfect. I was so nervous. If this plane would pass by, all right, I was so nervous that it was just gonna be way too much poke. There is no poke at all. This is perfect. This is so sick. This is, oh my, I couldn't ask for anything better. This is a dream. I'm living the dream right now. Look at that front right there. That is epic. That is epic. All right, now the rear, even the rear isn't even as aggressive as I thought it was going to be. This is perfect. It's right there. It's right on the money. I guess if that's the term that we're going to use, I guess. But yeah, look at this. So right there. Oh man, top of that tire is right there with the fender. It's just perfect. It's not even poking out. This is great. This is absolutely great. And then it still doesn't look like too beefy for the car. Why? Because I've got this little flared piece right here on my rear diffuser, right? So it's still in line like with the body of the vehicle, which is fantastic. Man, that looks so good. All right, let's move around to the other side. All right, right here, let's take a look. All right, okay, see, so same thing, right? A nice little shaded side of the vehicle. That looks really, really good. I am so happy. Let's get a little closer. All right. Yep. God, stupid planes landing left and right, man. All right, here we go. Look at that. That is perfect, dude. Oh, I love it. All right, let's finish off with the front passenger side. And this is great. This is absolutely great. I'm so thrilled. I'm talking a lot right now because I'm trying to drown out the music in the background. You guys know how it is when you have music in your videos. Then like they give you like that strike or whatever, you know, that says like, oh hey, like you're using someone else's music, so you no longer have like the rights to your video or whatever, blah blah. So as long as I keep talking, at least this way you guys can't really make out the music in the background, and also YouTube can't make the music in the background, so we're good. But yeah, so check it out. That's awesome. Perfect. I love it. All right, let's take a look at the front from there to the fender. Fender looks awesome. Yep, it's right there with the tire. Perfect. All right, let's go to this one. Look at that. That's dope. To the driver's side, do the same thing. All right, so right here, right? So that tire was sunk in. It is no longer sunk in. Look at that. That is awesome. Just looking at it. Boom. Just right there. Perfect. Just right where it needs to be. And then here is the front right there. Oh man, that looks beefy. Nice and beefy. Dude, that is awesome. I'm so ecstatic right now. This vehicle looks so dope. Ooh, sexy. Oh yeah. All right, yeah, I couldn't be happier. This is like a dream come true. Out of all the things we've done to the vehicle or whatever, this is absolutely my favorite modification right now. Go figure, spacers, as opposed to all the performance and everything that we've done. I mean, the vehicle just looks so perfect right now. So anyway, so following day, I just got the car all nice and shiny. And so now let's do a walk around with the new 25mm spacers so you guys can get a very good idea of what it looks like compared to... Am I in the parking spot? That is a really big parking spot. Wow. Okay, cool. Anyways, all right, let's, I'm being OCD right now. I think I'm gonna move the car forward before I needed the sun to kind of be setting. So then that way we can get all the different nice angles of the vehicle and everything. And this is perfect. I don't know why I'm filming myself and not the vehicle. Let's get to it. All right, so check this out. The lighting is hitting it perfectly right now. This is fantastic. All right, so definitely much more meaty than the 20mm spacer. So that 5mm of difference really made a... Did I already use this line? I think I already did use this line. I was about to say that 5mm of difference really made all the difference. So I gotta get... I'm not even gonna say it. All right. That looks really good. Dude, that is awesome. Look at that. That is perfect. Perfect. And I'm not rubbing, by the way. I'm not rubbing. I'm not bashing the fender or anything. I mean, it's a great ride. So, but yeah, look at that. Step out a little bit. We'll step out a little bit. All right. There you go. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, dope. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the Let's move on to the rear one, but moving down, crotch shot. Okay, you see? Not my crotch, I'm talking about the tire poke right there. So just perfect. Look at that. Just oh, that is sexy. All right. Alrighty, moving on to the rear. Here we are, right here. Look at that. That is a very nice shot right there. That is very nice. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. All right. Let's do the fender shot before I move to the back. Ooh. Penis is very up close to the camera. I apologize. All right, there you go. So, just perfect. Just absolute perfect. Tire's not even poking. Sweet. All right, continuing to the rear. Okay, we'll do up close real quick first, so you can see right there. So, just a smidgen. So it didn't look, it depends on the angle at which you're looking at it. I mean, it probably, in some angles it looks like it pokes, in other angles it doesn't. So right now I wasn't saying it's poking, and then from this angle it looks like it's poking. Why? Because the rear quarter panel comes inward, obviously, right? So it looks like it's a much beefier tire than it is, but I'm telling you right now, I mean, it's perfectly flush with the body. It looks fantastic. It is not too aggressive at all. Trust me. Like, this video might not even be doing it justice. The stance is just phenomenal. Trust me, you're not going to be destroying your fenders, nothing. You're not even going to be destroying your paint or anything like that. The only thing I'm caking on the vehicle is tire shine, but no rocks are hitting the vehicle or anything. This is just the absolute most perfect stance I could have asked for this Stingray. So that's awesome. All right, so let's step back a little bit. There we go. So now you can see a little bit better. There you go. Coming down. Don't know why I'm narrating, but there you go. You get the gist of it. You get the gist of it. Moving on to the shadow side. Let's do the same thing real quick. So there you go. So, just looks perfect up front. That is awesome. See, you can just barely say that the tire is poking. I mean, it's really not. It's perfect flush fitment. So, let's do a little bit further out. There we go. Around. Yep. See? Oh, that looks so good. All right, so now let's move to the last section. All right, so driver rear quarter panel. There you go. Should have just said driver rear. Whatever. I think I'm just too excited, so I start fumbling my words. That looks really good. This is the phone basically right up on the door right now. So this is giving you a real good idea of what the tire looks like with the phone right up on the door. About an inch away from the door. Obviously, if I'm on the door itself, barely can see the tire. So gives you a good idea. There you go. All right. All right, and then just gonna walk around. Last little bit. Boom. That's money right there. So just remember what I'm saying. Like, honestly, it is not too aggressive. The video might be making it seem like that tire is too far out. I'm telling you, it is not at all. This is the perfect meaty flush stance look, however you want, all the adjectives you want to list or whatever. This is right now just absolutely perfectly flowing with this vehicle. So we'll back up a little bit. There you go. You can get a clear, good view of the front as well. You see? So from this angle, it doesn't look like it's poking at all, right? So it just depends on which angle you're looking at it from. So there we go. All right, now time to take some still shots of this thing. All right, you guys got the point. All right, and one last little walk around real quick with the daytime running lights on because they look so good on the front of the car. All right, let's close that. Okay, all right. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Dude, that looks so good. Oh man, that looks so good. That is sick. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that is so dope. I love how you can see the daytime running lights from the side. Look at that, dude. That is dope. I love this car. That's a nice little pan shot. All right, last angle and we'll call it a day. Look at that, dude, that is so dope. All right, so I don't think I have any adjectives left to say. I'm in love with this car. It just looks so good right now. The daytime running lights, the new stance, the new height of the vehicle. It's everything came together perfectly. I couldn't have asked for anything better. So, I mean, honestly, Brian did all the work. So thanks, man. Bottom of my heart, always. You're always doing an amazing job. And then to all the companies obviously supplying these parts, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Your customer service is fantastic. So yeah, all right, not much left to be said. I'm gonna cruise around before the sun goes down. So if you like that video, go ahead and click that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.